What's up, everybody? Today I'm gonna be talking about the drive in your deadlift. A couple people miss the feeling of being able to drive off the floor with your legs. First things first is don't think of the quads doing the driving. The quads are out of the picture. Okay, it's the posterior chain that you're using in deadlift. Okay, that's why your hamstrings grow, your glutes grow, and your lower back grow. Okay, what's actually happening is you have your joints, which are your knees and your hips. Okay, what I want to tell you there is don't think of the back at all. Okay, the back is there to maintain the weight. Okay. Um, uh, so the back can't do a function. Only the joints can do a function. So don't think about lifting the bar up with your back, okay? Because it's not. It's not doing a function. It's there to maintain, keeping everything tight. When you go down to grab the bar for deadlift, um, the reason why your butt is up higher, okay, is because, and it depends on your height. No, don't get me wrong. Everybody's butt is not going to be as high as mine. Everybody's butt, um, everybody's butt will not be in a squatting position. Just I know that for a fact. You will not. If you're in a squatting position, you're out the game. Okay. If you're in a squatting position, that means the shoulders is behind the bar. Okay. You want to balance that lift out by having the shoulders in front of the bar, the rear delts in line of the bar, which is the scapula, and the bar is parallel. Okay. So the front of the shoulders, over the bar, and and the bar is over the middle of your foot. Now, with the height, okay, of your butt depends on your knees. And when I talk about your knees, okay, if you next time you deadlift, I want you to get in a deadlift position, okay. And I talked about on that animal back to basics. If I was to push my knees back, then my butt will go up. Okay, this is what will happen. Okay, if I push my knees back, my butt will come up. All right. So when I talked about the knees being straight up, the knees and shins being straight up, okay, that's what I'm talking about. So the knees should be straight up. Now, if you're taller, your knees will be at an angle, a slight angle, but you never want your knees here and over the bar, okay? Once you do that, once those knees go over the bar, you're starting to sit, okay? Now, how you gonna know if you're getting ready to perform the lift correctly is when you push those knees back and the butt come up, and then you feel those high hamstrings and glutes activate. That means you're in the right spot. Okay. From there, once you get in the right spot, what you want to do is only push up through the hamstrings and glutes. Now, you can't do that if your core is not tight, okay, and you're not tight on the bar, because what's going to happen is when you go to push with those legs and you're not tight on that bar, then automatically you're going to cave. Your form is going to cave in, and it's going to throw you forward, or you're going to jerk on that bar. Once you jerk on that bar or have any upward movement or backwards movement on this lift, then it's going to be a pull. So you're going to be pulling with your back. So no slight upward movement as far as a pull. It's always a push. Once you start with a pull, you're going to end the whole lift. The whole lift is going to be a pull, okay? So, like I said, you have your knees, okay? The bar here, okay? You have your knees, say my nail here. If your knees are over that bar, you want to push them back, okay? Behind that bar, or maybe even slight even with the bar, but the bar needs to be directly over the middle of the foot, okay? So, like I said, when you push those knees back, that butt will come up. Okay, the higher the butt come up depends on how tall you are. Then you'll feel those high hamstrings and glutes activate. Once you in that place and you are tight, if you're not tight, then you won't feel it. So you need to be tight on that bar. Get the jingle out of the bar so you have a little pressure on that bar. Okay, arms are completely straight with a little pressure on the bar from pressing those feet in the ground before the actual lift. Okay, so everything's tight. So you're getting the pressure from your feet that transfer to your hands that's holding the bar only by having the core tight. Um, I will do a video explaining this, showing it, but but that'll be later. But yeah, the only way you can actually feel this if the body is working as a unit. Okay, don't think about pulling that weight up. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you a couple things. Once you start pulling with that bar, anytime you start pulling with that bar, and you start to come up with it, these are the things where you know you're pulling when you finish a lift. If you go and do your lift and you lock out and your knees are bent and not fully locked out, that's a sign of you pulling on that lift. Okay, a lot of people do it, and if I was a judge, I would not give you the lift if those knees were not totally locked out. Okay, you will see that a lot. You'll see a lot of people lifting and they're pulling up, they're pulling the weight up, and they'll lock out that back, and those knees will be bent. But then when they notice it, then they'll try to lock those knees out. Okay, so that's so inefficient. Okay, so like I said, back to the pressure where you should be pushing. Like I said, it's not the quads that's doing the work. It is the upper hamstrings and glutes. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want to stay tight. You want to transfer from pushing in the ground before the actual lift, pushing in the ground with the feet. Transfer that pressure to the bar with your hands, and the only way you can do that is if your core is tight. Okay, so think about that. Look at go on YouTube and look at a lot of people that deadlift and assess it yourself and video yourself. Look at it and assess yourself and notice the small things that a lot of people do, and you'll start to realize what's going on. Okay, so I hope this helped y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.